In April 2022, Barcelona women played Wolfsburg women in a Champions League fixture at the Camp Nou in front of 91,648 fans. This is still the highest ever attended women's football match in history. Before this, the same venue hosted a record attendance of 91,553 fans in an El Clasico Women's Champions League match. Internationally, the United States match against China in 1990 still carries the highest attendance record for a match at this level, having attracted 90,185 fans at the Rose Bowl Stadium. Other international matches with large crowds include England vs Germany at Wembley Stadium with 87,192, England vs Brazil at the Wembley Stadium with 83,132, and the United States vs Japan at the 2012 Olympics with 80,203 fans. These numbers prove there is an undeniable demand for women's football, but here's the question. Should women's football move to big stadiums permanently? In the Women's Super League, 8 teams have scheduled some of their home fixtures at the club's main stadium. Aston Villa and Leicester City play all their home fixtures at Villa Park and King Power, followed by Arsenal, who play 8 at the Emirates. Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur all have 3 games at their main grounds. While this has worked well for blockbuster fixtures like Arsenal women vs Chelsea women, which attracted 45,860 at the Emirates and 34,302 at Stamford Bridge, and Arsenal women vs Manchester City women, which had 41,818 at the Emirates, the same cannot be said of Aston Villa and Leicester City matches. The highest home attendance Villa women have as of the making of this video is 4,324 when they played against Chelsea. On average, they attract 3,087 fans in a stadium that has a capacity of over 42,000. As for Leicester City, the highest home attendance is 5,405 against Manchester United, an average of 3,226 fans. In Germany, Bayern Munich women first played a Bundesliga match at the Allianz Arena in 2023 against Eintracht Frankfurt, drawing a record crowd of 19,000. This remains the only league match they've played there. In the Champions League, they've hosted Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona at the venue with a collective attendance of 60,000. Their arch-rivals, Wolfsburg, have also played selective matches at the Wolfsburg Arena. In December 2024, they defeated Bayern 2-0 in front of 17,152 spectators. On Sunday 16th February, they beat Eintracht Frankfurt 6-1 in front of 8,793 fans. Looking at these contrasting figures begs the following questions. Should women's football leagues play some of their matches at big stadiums, all of their matches at big stadiums, or none of their matches at big stadiums? To begin with, I'd rather have a smaller stadium that is constantly full week in, week out, than have a one-off sellout game or play in a big stadium that is almost empty. In line with this, women's football should play some of its matches in big stadiums. This means that clubs should pick games that will attract high attendance, and Arsenal women are doing this so well. For example, during the North London Derby, they had over 56,000 people attend the match and over 40,000 against Chelsea. These are 2 of their 8 games at the Emirates, showing strategy in match selection. This is beneficial to the club and league's growth as opposed to having all games in the main stadium. Leicester and Aston Villa struggle to fill 25% of the stadium, making the game seem unattractive with a block of empty seats staring at television viewers. Villa's highest attendance rate in the 2023-24 season at its former stadium, Poundland Bescot Stadium, was 12,533 against Manchester United women, 10,076 against Arsenal, and 8,912 against Manchester City women. Outside of these fixtures, the team barely made 5,000 fans. So moving the games to Villa Park hasn't really boosted its attendance. And going by these numbers, the club should only have big fixtures at the big stadium. It's not the stadium per se that attracts more people. Having more seats is good when demand is high, but until that becomes a consistent norm, staying at a small stadium makes sense. I would rather Villa continue out Poundland Biscot Stadium and work on expanding its fan base there or another facility, and then when they outdo the small stadium because of demand, they make a move to a bigger facility. And it's not just for this team, but all teams across Europe. Gradually build a fan base through social media engagement, players' interviews, narratives around big matchups, overall marketing, and all of this is happening. But you also need to keep in mind that some women's football fans aren't coming from men's football. They are completely new, so nothing is lost in doing all the groundwork because let's be real, 10,000 fans in a 50,000 seat stadium looks worse than a packed 10,000 seater. Being realistic about where things are is much better than overextending it. This way, the game is in a better position to have a sustainable fan base that is not dependent on Women's Football Weekend when the Premier League is off due to internationals or any other special programs designed for women's football. What's your take on this debate? Should Women's Football League move to big stadiums? Write your comments below, subscribe, and see you in the next one.